Seaweed's one of the fastest things on this earth that reproduces and regrows at an incredible rate. And you know, it doesn't need to necessarily be farmed in any sense. No one really needs to tend to it. The only thing we need to do if we're going to harvest from it is harvest it sustainably, taking the right amount so it could regrow. But the ocean takes care of everything else. It's very low labor in terms of maintaining it. The only labor-intensive part is going out and harvesting it. And why all the stress? Why all the labor? And I think it's just one of those things that we forget. You know, we go to Safeway and buy prepackaged corn and prepackaged asparagus and don't think twice about where it comes from. And in turn, by doing that, you don't celebrate that ingredient as much. You don't think twice about it. You don't cherish it, and you pay less attention to it. So when you have something like precious as a seaweed, it just, when I put it in my mouth, I just taste the fruit of my labor, and I think it's amazing. So far, as you guys can look down the line, there's so many different varieties, different shapes, different constructs, different textures, different flavors, and we're gonna explore these. Go grab those feather boa, the one that look like olives, throw them in your mouth. Pass them around. Isn't that cool, Chris? What do you think?
Nice texture.
What does it taste like?
It's just nice and briny, salty.
Uh-huh. What'd you compare it to?
Maybe an olive.
An olive, right?
Yeah.
We're bringing olives from Italy, fennel, what have you. Different cultures we're bringing to California, but we forget what California is about and what California offers us. You know, we should, if we're doing California cuisine, we should look at what the natives did and what type of advantages they had for this terroir and this land, and seaweed's one of them. Let's taste my favorite, sea celery. You guys want to take one? Pass it around. This is at its fresh state. It changes color, it changes texture, it changes flavor the moment you cook it. So let's move on to the next ones. I'm excited to tell you guys. Cool. Chain bladder. See how gorgeous that is? It displays out really nice on a plate, and it's super delicious. I think they pickle really nicely.
You have to buy twice as much as you're gonna use, because when you're cooking it, you're gonna end up snacking on most. It's so good. I mean, just a quick blanch in salt water and then shocking it in salt water again. It's so bright and crispy and saline and beautiful. And so you could eat bowls of that.
It's so clean, right? So the next one is kombu. It has a little bit more of the grease, slimy feel. But I think in this case, it's for me, it's desirable. It makes me feel like I'm eating meat. How do you guys feel about that? It's almost like a gelatinous type of feel in your mouth, right? And I'm actually putting this into our dessert this evening. I have a simple syrup base, and this is gonna help thicken up that simple syrup just by putting it in there, cooking it very warm, very slightly, and it's gonna give like a nice viscosity. And you know, this alone here just broadens our dimensions of how we can thicken things. We don't have to use cornstarch. We don't have to use roux, which is flour and butter base. We don't have to use tapioca. It's just another dimension, achieving different viscosities in a natural way. All right, let's go on to nori. We've all had nori, right? I just tell you one thing. Every time I've gone to the shore with Kevin a few times now, and every time I go to the shore, the first thing I go is to the nori, and I pick it off and I eat it, you know? I've seen it chopped up before, dried out, chopped up and rolled into goat cheese, which makes it like really nice umami, just giving it more meat flavor to the cheese, you know? So let's move on to the next one. And this is the last one, I believe, yeah? Yes. So we're calling this sweet kelp, right, Kevin?
Yeah, there are many different forms of kelp. This is one of the many.
And this usually grows, when I first started harvesting, this usually grows with the sea lettuce. And the sea lettuce looks like this, but smaller, and it's super bright green. There's a sea lettuce. So I easily confuse the two all the time. But this usually grows on the same rock as the nori as well. All right, guys, let's try some food.